The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movements start from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Streets A&R Podcast. It's your host, Giddy Jicky with it.
And it's your girl, CLB.
And today, I'm finally glad to have another guest here.
Yeah.
Another guest, finally. And actually recorded in the new year. We had one episode, but one recorded in the new year. We had this guest. She reached out. Pleasant surprise. I was like, oh, somebody's popping. Oh, somebody actually has some talent. Oh, we in the Afro wave, Afro beats. Okay. I'm like, oh, she was at an event I was at, and I don't know who she is.
Girl.
Oh.
I couldn't wait for this episode.
Oh, yeah?
And I just wanted to make sure, like, the same way I got introduced and C got introduced, that we were able to introduce her to the world before the blow up happens, because it's coming. And it's just one of them things you just get a feeling, and it's and you know the grease is popping. So just wanted to welcome to the Streets A&R Podcast, Maeva Fuego.
Hello.
What's up? Where my claps at? You ain't There we go.
Hey, studio audience class. Love it.
We love that.
We actually got an audience today, but it's all good.
Yeah, we do.
Welcome to the Streets A&R Podcast, man. We appreciate
Thank
you coming
you.
through.
Happy to be here. Excited.
Thank you. Just to start out, can you just kind of let the world know, like, who you are? And it's interesting, you said you actually just got here not too long ago. So where you come from? I want to know where you from, and then also where you're coming from, and then how you got started into the music that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Maeva Fuego. I was originally born in Cameroon, and then, we migrated to the States. I was like in elementary school, which is why I don't have an accent. But I grew up in Maryland, the East Coast, pretty much my whole life since. I am here by way of family. We have business here. We work here. But also just excited for like new opportunities, because I was in Maryland pretty much my whole life. I didn't go away for school or anything like that. So it was really something that I was excited for to move here. I feel like the Midwest is very underrated, especially when it comes to music too. Like, I didn't really hear much about it until moving here. And I was pleasantly surprised. And then as far as music goes, I actually started, funny enough, in elementary school. I always started with writing. So I was like, it was kind of tough migrating from, my first language is French. So I didn't speak any English when I came here. I was watching a lot of like music videos, watching movies with like the subtitles and stuff. And I started with writing because I was obviously learning to speak English. And I just loved poetry. I loved writing. I started singing in church because, one thing about African parents, they're going to have you in that church. So I was singing in church, did talent shows, always been involved in music, always been writing. I started recording in high school, like maybe 10th or 11th grade. Okay. And I just dibbled and dabbled in kind of everything. But writing was kind of what started it for me until I started finding out I had any type of singing voice or anything like that. Dibbled in rap. I've just no boundaries, no genres, just kind of soaking in everything around me. And then obviously I'm African, so the Afro beats is very natural to me. But I actually started with R&B,
Really?
Yeah, SWV, that's kind of actually what started everything. And then I think I found my identity a little bit more, because at first I was kind of ashamed. It was around that time that it was a little bit more not as cool to be African, I guess. So, just since then, I've just been finding myself as an artist and exploring. Although obviously we do Afro beats, when I say we, I mean my label mates, my family, my partner, but we don't really have boundaries. So I think that's the big thing with me. Just genres is a big thing, in the industry, but we're just Africans that happen to make great music, and sometimes it's Afro beats, maybe there's jazz in there, maybe it's R&B, maybe it's rap. It's whatever I kind of feel like.
Oh, that's fire. Now I gotta ask, are you a PG County girl?
Close.
Okay.
No.
You're giving me PG County, Maryland vibes.
No, I'm just kidding.
She want to claim it. Don't do it.
I love PG County. No, Montgomery County.
Montgomery County.
Yeah,
okay,
so we're kind of like smack dab in the middle of like PG County, DC, maybe an hour from Baltimore, but it's very like in the middle, very, very suburb.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, sweet. What brought you to Omaha? And like, how do you feel about Omaha coming from the East Coast? Because it's completely different.
It is completely different. I'll be very honest. I'm a very like honest person. Before I had my reservations because I didn't do my research. You know, when you're from somewhere else, like the East Coast, maybe the West Coast, and you hear Midwest, you have a lot of preconceived notions. You know, I didn't think there were Black people here, like things that are very ignorant like that. Very ignorant. So far I have not had any issues. I think what it is just finding your community. If you want to stay willfully ignorant and move somewhere and think nothing is going on, and then that's what it'll be. But if you actually like expand and look at what's happening and do your research and actually realize like, you know, the East Coast isn't the only place in the world. Like, so I really enjoy it. I feel like as much as I've been in the East Coast almost my whole life, every place has its pros and cons. Like people are so welcoming here. I feel like even when it comes to music, like what you guys are doing, you're inviting people like in, like you're open, and it seems very collaborative. And I love my city, but it's not as collaborative in my opinion.
Got you.
Yeah.
With you coming from like the Maryland area, and I know it's a heavily dense African population there, and somebody like myself, like I'm Nigerian, so it's how do you see that it helps you find your sound and your past, especially growing up? Because we grew up in a time, I don't know how old you are. I'm about to be 38, and I grew up in a time of the African booty scratch, all that, and now it's cool. Yeah. But growing up in the area with such a densely populated African migrant community, how did that help you in being, one, comfortable being from Africa, and then two, shaping kind of like your sound and your identity as you grew older? Right.
So I'll start off by saying I'm 26. I'll be 27. Sorry. I'll be 27 this year. I grew up in an area so at first where we lived was more of a melting pot. Like there was white people, Black people, Africans, Hispanics. And then I actually moved in the middle of middle school, going to high school. So like in the middle of 8th grade, and then to a more not so diverse area. So I feel like when I was younger, I almost felt a little bit more comfortable with my identity. There weren't that many Africans where I was, but there were enough to where, although we were getting the African booty scratcher, the monkeys, all types of crazy comments, I still felt like I had a little bit of support of community. And when my family migrated, my cousins were with me, which I love, because I feel like if I was by myself, it would have been a lot harder. But when I moved to a more white area, it was definitely more of a culture shock. I could count maybe how many of us in high school were Black, African, melanated, and we were all friends, which was great. But I feel like you kind of suppress it a little bit without knowing when you're younger, because you want to fit in. Once I got maybe to 11th, 12th grade, started finding my identity, finding more friends that were like-minded, African or Black, I felt like I was coming out of my shell more. And then obviously the music we're listening to is like crazy. Like we have Afro beats, like we have R&B, we have rap. Like this is when like kind of like the Megan Thee Stallions were like coming up a little bit too. So I felt like I was a little bit all over the place with it, because as a creative, you can easily get all over the place with it. I felt like the more I got around, like friends that were supportive of what I was doing, but letting me be me, I was dibbling and dabbling, but I was finding my sound at the same time. So I felt like it has a huge impact on you. I think once you get out of the mindset of trying to please others and actually wanting to find yourself, I definitely think it happens naturally, like without you having to force it.
Got you.
But the African booty scratches I'm sorry, but I'm never going to forget that.
this.
I'm sorry.
I remember those.
I
days.
forgave, but I didn't forget.
I'm not gonna say I'm not African. I don't know my African roots. Clearly, I'm African. But
Oh,
yeah,
you was the
of
one
course.
talking that mess, huh?
Definitely not me. I never said nothing like that. That was not me.
And
That was so rude.
can I ask a quick follow up to that?
Of course.
And coming here, with such a vibrant, especially West African population, have you been able to find some solace and some home in the African culture here?
Yes.
Whether actual community and also in the music realm.
Yes, absolutely. Afrofest, we met Jubel. He kind of put us on and introduced us to more of like the African community here. I'm definitely still meeting people. Obviously, I'm still working too, so it's not. If I felt like if I was doing this full time, it would be different. But I still have a 9-to-5. I still, work at our family business and stuff like that. But I'm definitely meeting people and taking my time, not rushing it, because I like organic things.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels hard when you're like trying to meet people and like reach out to people for it to be authentic, because I'm a very organic person. But I realize you kind of have to do that when you're moving somewhere you don't know anybody. So yeah, I'll definitely say I'm finding a community for sure.
No, that's beautiful, because Omaha, just like any city, everybody, wherever city you come from, just like you said, Maryland, in terms of like support, sometimes it doesn't always feel like it's there.
Yeah.
But that's like one thing with Omaha that I do love seeing the African Afrobeats community like really unified. But I really feel like we could do a better job with integrating it with other genres in the city, because let me tell you, talking about putting on the show.
Oh, wow.
Don't play. They don't play at all. Like full-fledged, full production. And it's a beautiful sight to see, especially Omaha, because Omaha is essentially still coming out of the small town phase.
Okay.
And I always say Omaha operates like it's still in like 1999 sometime, but we getting there.
It feels very like it's growing, though.
It is.
It
is.
feels
Very
that
much
way. I haven't been here long, but
It's
something
big.
feels like it's growing. So
And it's changed a lot too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I was going to, so you talked about your label and your label mate. So what label are you with, and kind of how did that come about? Like you you're a signed artist, correct?
So let me kind of explain it.
How about this?
We're family.
You're a family,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's actually me, my partner, which is my boyfriend. We've been together for years now, and then his brother. So none of us have any like signed documents. It's just a thing in the family where we're all artists. We all make amazing music together, and we want to be independent artists. So we just kind of made our own label.
Oh, nice.
Which is?
Verge Mob Entertainment,
Rich
LLC.
Mob Entertainment. Y'all hear that? Let it stick. 'Cause Y'all gonna
Yes.
y'all gonna hear it again.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
So with currently, when you talk about your music, let's get
Yeah.
to some of the music. What's currently out, and kind of where are you and creatively? Like, what type of music are you wanting to do in this current moment? Because I went to your page, and the first thing I said, like, I hear the fusion. It's just Afro-fusion is what I call it. Like immediately, like and which is kind of where Afrobeats has taken
Right.
over the last couple of years. It's not a particular sound. There's not just fusion with rap, but there's a heavy jazz influence in
Yes.
Afrobeats. So where is your music at now in the creative process? Like, what's your sound? What are you kind of really leaning on, and where do you want to go with it?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, with the Afro-fusion part of it. I almost kind of call it Afro art in a way, just because it's, I'm obviously African, and then the Afro beats comes into play because the drums and stuff like that. I feel like for me, it's always about the feel of things. So if I hear a beat, we work with different producers. If I hear a beat and it just comes to me naturally, because I feel like as a writer, sometimes you hear things and it just comes. I feel like it's really feel good music for me, and I talk about things that I'm either experiencing or I'm interested in. It's hard to explain. It definitely comes naturally. I feel like I'm more so explorative. My music now is a lot different than before. I was releasing rap music, which is actually not out anymore on all platforms.
Pulled it?
She's like, I deleted it. It's gone.
I'm still, what? I'll explain, right? When I first got in the studio, I was scared to sing. And because writing came easy, I naturally just started rapping. You know, I was very influenced with like the female rap that was coming up at the time and more celebrated at the time. And it sounded good. I had fun. It was great music. Very, you know, play in the club, trap.
I was going to ask, it was ratchet, wasn't it?
It was very ratchet and beautiful. It was ratchetly beautiful. But it just wasn't me. Like I was talking about things that I never did. I was
you was on your future?
I was not trapping. I was not, you know, I was not doing none of those things.
Ask her mom.
Yeah, you know, I was leaving the suburbs, going to the studio. You would think I'm new, like in Atlanta. I was, you know.
Oh, you was double lifing it. That's crazy. You was real life new. You was real new. That's crazy.
It just wasn't real. It was fun at the time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with rap music. I just feel like with rap music, it's something that has to make sense. Like I feel like if you're not really doing what you're talking about, and it's not really like it doesn't resonate with your actual life in any way. And maybe it's just for fun, but that's not longevity,
right?
Because it's not me,
right? Absolutely.
You know. So now I'm still open to it. I just feel like I have to maybe more like sing rap, maybe something that just is more me. So I'm definitely exploring with that more.
That's beautiful. You're aligning with your passions.
Exactly.
And being in Omaha, like, how do you find your inspiration when you're recording?
Gotcha. So we have a home studio. I think that helps because I'm able to just be in my own like comfort zone. I'm at home. And I think I use it as an escape because obviously I'm still working. So I feel like when I need a break, when I just need to go and remind myself like why I'm here, like what I really want to do, it's just finding beats. Our producers send us a lot of beats from back home. We work with a lot of producers back home and just different producers that we connect with from social media. So I feel like my inspiration is just like going back to home, I guess, in a way. So I just kind of go in our home studio. I don't know. I think I don't like to force things. I feel like as a writer, when you force things, you get writer's block. So I think just using it as an escape and it's a hobby, you know, it's not really something that like I feel is forced because it's within me, whether I want to do it or not, it always just naturally calls me back. So
I love that. With the summer approaching, can we look forward to any performances from you? Or
oh my god,
kind of jumping the gun, but I'm ready to see you perform live.
Yes. So you guys know festivals at home. I've been speaking with them a little bit about performances. I know Afro-Fest also this summer, but I do have my best friend's wedding, which is on the same exact day, and I'm maid of honor. So that's that's very exciting though. But definitely performances coming up for sure. I did release my most recent release, Escape. That's out now. I released that on Valentine's Day. So yeah, a lot of new things coming. I feel like I'm finding my ground here and meeting different people, and whatever opportunities come, I'll definitely be open to it.
That's
so
beautiful.
I was going to ask, how has it been being here and trying to navigate the scene, and literally how easy or difficult has it been to try to find the people who can help put you on stage, getting in contact with venues, or even that scene in itself could be a whole conversation we could have because it's almost non-existent locally right now.
Right.
But how is that being transitioning from Maryland to here and trying to now figure out how do I get in, where do I get in, who do I work with, that type of process? What's been happening since you've been here?
So I hate that I keep going back to social media, but in 2025, it kind of is the mecca of all things at this point. I feel like because, again, I am still working, it's easier to start on social media than it is in person. I try to do more in-person network, like going on Eventbrite, finding things that are going on, maybe meeting up like Omaha Fashion Week or African Fashion Week, things like that. It's been a little bit of a challenge just because I, again, am not doing this full time yet. But I find it easier because of the people I feel I'm reaching out to. I'm kind of
assessing the vibe before I just approach anyone for anything. And it seems like knowing the right people, they always say it, like a Jubel or people that I've met through AfroFest, is very helpful. I think a lot of people try to do things on their own without anyone's help, or are very proud to say, everything, I did no one's help. I don't think that's realistic, to be honest. You need at least one person or someone that you meet to get you around the right people too. And it also helps because my partner has lived here before, like we moved here. So I'm kind of the only one that's kind of doesn't know anyone.
Nice. So you got some folks.
Yeah.
See this here? Putting on my A&R hat because we got to get to work. We got to get to work.
My wheels are spinning back over here.
Look, we will figure some things out. Trust me, we will figure some things out.
And we need to get you into the edition of Knob Ties. I was already.
Yeah, I already.
Front page cover. We need to do that.
Love that.
So where is my copy?
Moving.
Got you.
I'm in the process of moving.
Yep.
Okay, that's a good
Only
excuse.
reason.
I know how that goes.
She just launched her brand new magazine called Knob Ties.
Yes.
So working on the second edition.
That's exciting.
So it's
Working on second edition.
It's all things music and entertainment. So the purpose of it is to highlight talent coming out of the city, also surrounding areas, and really just to integrate the culture from surrounding areas throughout the U.S. or whatever. But the magazine come out of Omaha, which you rarely see.
That's beautiful.
So we need to get you on May's cover. Yeah.
It's going down. It's going down. I'm trying to think. I did have a question, and maybe I'm pretty familiar with the musical scene out in the DMV area,
Which is dope.
It is one of the most slept on. I promise it's one of the most slept on.
Thank you.
Regions.
I say it all the time.
Are there any artists like of today, contemporaries that you vibe with, you like coming out of that area? Because I want to know, because I can list them. People that I listen to out of the DMV area.
Yeah.
But are there anybody? Is there anybody or any people coming out of that area that you really vibe with? Would one day want to be on a song with? Anything like that?
Okay, 2 honorable mentions. And they're kind of completely different in genres. Not kind of, they are completely different in genres. A rapper, 2, Wale.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
I can't not say that's.
You better not. He actually see this episode. And cuss me out for the next 5 years. He cussing us out.
He would watch this.
For
Petty
sure.
ass.
For sure.
Damn petty Nigerians. That's us.
Crybaby, he a little crybaby. But it's just cute.
I know, you have to say it. Brent Faiyaz.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mr.
Love
Sonder.
Brent. And then someone who I don't want to say underground, but I will say a lot of people, unless they're from the DMV, they might not know of him. He's a rapper, Cutiful.
Oh,
I know Cutiful.
cute. Yeah.
He
My
is
previous
so
partner
dope.
used to produce for him.
He is so dope. And then a singer who I've actually met, but she's really, really cool. She's doing amazing right now. Alex Vaughn.
Oh yeah.
I've heard, yeah.
She's amazing. Her music is amazing, and even personality-wise, she seems very sweet and genuine. So those are kind of a few people. There's so many more.
There are Rico Nasty.
Rico.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My guy,
There's
Ade,
so much talent
he
out
hangs
of
with
the
Wale.
DMV,
really.
Ade.
Yeah.
Used to go by Phil Ade. Chaz French. Odyssey.
Yeah.
A chick, Pinky Killicorn.
Yeah.
Brittany, no, she's from North Carolina. It's a few.
Oh.
I mean,
Caliucci's. She's
Cali
from
Uchis.
Virginia.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
She's from Virginia.
Wow.
There's a lot of
Glock
people
is
that
from out there too, ain't he?
Yeah.
I thought Key was from Memphis.
I think
I don't know, or maybe
By
I'm thinking of Shy
IDK.
Glizzy.
Shy Glizzy.
Shy Glizzy,
Yes.
IDK, a whole slew of these.
There's so much talent in the DMV.
I even like
So
Fat
much.
Trail. That's my
Yeah.
gangster. That's my gangster is. Let me get some Fat Trail.
No lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
There's so
DMV.
many.
He's dope. He's dope.
Oh, Internet James is an underground sleeper out there.
I have not heard of him.
Oh wow, I'm gonna put you on. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm gonna do my.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get you
for
research
sure.
at your own home.
I know my
Trust me.
own. I know.
I get they master slept on. Are there any artists that you've been able to hear here that you're curious and want to see more of? Have you been able to find any artists here that like, you know what, I want to tap in?
Yeah, I think you guys actually interviewed, was it Ching Diamond? I think.
yeah.
Yeah, she's dope. I think before I even moved here, I saw like TikToks and stuff. Like she would pop up. She's amazing. We work with Kevin Paradise. He's awesome. He's an Afrobeats art. Well, I don't like putting people in boxes, so I'm gonna let him. But he's awesome. And I feel like I still need to tap in more. Marcy Yates.
Okay.
That's the
He's
homie.
awesome too. Culture House, right? I think. I definitely need to tap in more. But so far, those are like the few people that I've kind of come across or heard of, and they're doing like really big things out here too.
Gotcha. And then before we get out here, do you have any upcoming projects? We know you just dropped your song on Valentine's Day, but I'm a big pusher of if without bodies of work, you don't exist as an artist.
Agreed.
So are you working on a project? Is that something that's you can see yourself doing or completing by the end of the year?
Absolutely. So obviously I told you guys all my rap stuff is off the platforms, but I did have a body of work with my rap music that was released in 2020. Since then, I have not had a body of work. I have a lot of songs in the vault, very indecisive, but there will definitely be a drop soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely pushing the single right now, but it's for a reason. So,
Gotcha.
project coming very soon.
Gotcha. Well, don't be afraid to call us if you need help.
I will not.
Executive producing, sequencing, we can get it happening real quick.
I will not. You guys are awesome.
You will not be disappointed.
You won't, but you also would not be lied to.
Oh, I do. Please be very brutally honest. That's the best way to go, honestly. Constructive criticism.
Gotcha. But man, we definitely appreciate you coming. You got anything else, C?
No. I'm
just ready.
I'm just excited.
Yeah.
I'm happy to meet you. I love seeing fresh faces like in the city because
Thank you.
I'm from here. E's been here for a long time. I moved and came back, so it's just like nice to see like okay, who's dominating the scene right now, and just to stay in tune with what's going on. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome too.
We definitely appreciate you. We hope you get to, really root yourself here and continue to grow and expand out into the Omaha, Midwest, United States global scale. So we really wish you all the success.
Thank you.
We'll definitely be around in contact, and we're going to bump in each other now because
hopefully I'll be back sometime.
Yes.
Oh yeah, listen,
we got some stuff.
We got stuff.
We got things to do.
Well, we got a few things for you to do coming up pretty soon. But also don't forget about us when you blow up big.
Oh, stop.
Treat us like Sway and them. They all respect Sway. They come back and see Sway. They don't go back and see nobody else.
But I'm promoting this album. I need to get back on.
They just come holler at Sway. We're in the city. So
Got you.
after you do your African World Tour and you come back, make sure you stop by. Like, I'm at the house. I'm just going to walk in. You good. I don't care who we got in here.
I love it.
But no, we definitely appreciate it. So real quick, tell the people where they can find you at.
Yes, you guys can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Maeva Fuego. I'm going to spell it. It's M for Mary, A for Apple. Just kidding. Maevafuego. Maeva Fuego.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, you do know you're going to have to do like an Afro-Latino fusion song because of your name.
Hard.
I know. Even in French, my family always says, you don't have anything in friendship. I'm like, it's coming. It's coming. And Fuego.
That's crazy.
Mhm. I know, right?
You have to. It's fire.
I'm glad you guys understand that. I would have to explain what it means.
Well, I'll find you an artist. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll
I'll hold y'all to everything else.
All right. It's easy
I
as
keep telling
done.
him he need to do God, why I always can never get it out. An album, compilation.
Yes.
I will.
Of artists in the
Well, they going to have to send me the music and let me be the EP of it. That's
Well, I'm going to let
issue.
y'all have a first listen when the...
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. My baby's here. Hold on, baby. I'm
She said,
coming.
"Time's up."
Give me a second. She does. She can feel the vibes.
Yeah.
She can feel it. What's your name? Easy. Little Easy. She funny. But yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming through.
Thank y'all for having me.
Braving the weather.
I know, right?
Because we all finna run up out of here
I
real
swear.
soon before it really start going
That
down.
rain was going.
Yeah. It was this that wet snow they
Yeah.
called it. And about to have a blizzard. So we're going to get on up out of here, man. We appreciate having you. And thank you for just stopping through, man. Blessing us and be on the
Y'all
lookout.
keep doing the Lord's work.
We are
said it. Yep.
We are trying. So we appreciate everybody coming through today, man. Make sure you follow Streets A&R. That's Streets A&R. We're on everything but Apple. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, watch, listen, tell a friend, send it over, copy the link, get it to them. We here, man. We appreciate you. And we going to get up out of here. It's your host, Giddy Jicky with it.
And it's your girl, CLB.
And thank you, Maeva, for coming through.
Thank you both for having me.
Peace.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.